Welcome back. It's time now for our community update with Green Bay Police Chief Andrew Smith, and we're also joined by Honor Guard Supervisor Lieutenant Andy Opperman, and we'll talk about some new uniforms that are coming to the Honor Guard in just a little bit. But Chief, of course, we have to start with the Jonathan Tubby case. Last week on Friday, we found out that the DA would not be filing any charges against Officer Eric O'Brien, who was involved with the 26-year-old's death. What is your reaction to the decision?
Well, this is just a tragic situation all the way around. I mean, it was so sad that this had happened. The district attorney's made his decision. Now we put together a critical incident review board on the police department. We're going to look at everything that happened out there, see if all our rules and regulations and things were followed. And that'll come out probably, it's going to be a little while because it's going to be a very thorough examination of everything. It's going to be a number of weeks down the road before that's done. And
the one question I think a lot of people are asking right now is, did your officers pat down Tubby before he was placed in the vehicle? Because obviously what the question is that he put his hands under his shirt. He was able to maneuver his handcuffs, put it under his shirt as if he had a gun. But wouldn't your officers know if he was armed or not armed prior to being placed into the vehicle? Did that take place?
That's a great question, and the answer is yes. He was searched in the field. He was searched by the new officer under the supervision of the senior officer. It was a standard, thorough search that we do in the field, but a thorough search in the field does not find everything. Many, many times we find that someone has something hidden on their person that we miss in the search. That's why there's always an additional search done at the jail facility. That's where we find oftentimes someone snuck in a knife, sometimes a gun, contraband, anything like that.
Is there any also, because, you know, he was handcuffed and he was able to actually go from behind his back underneath his legs. Is there any concern about a situation like that moving forward that the department could change so that something like that wouldn't happen again?
Yeah, I don't know of anything, you know, in the past I've seen people put a waistband shackle on people. It's very unusual for someone to slip their handcuffs, but it does happen. So our critical incident review board is going to look at that as well.
And we'll learn more about the case moving forward in, like you said, weeks or months ahead. Another tragic situation just yesterday in Milwaukee where this 35-year-old officer was shot and killed while serving a search warrant. He was also a Marine veteran. Obviously, every department across the country mourns when any officer is shot and killed in the line of duty, but this particularly hits home when it's in our own state.
It's in our own state. It's just heartbreaking to see something like this occur. Such a great guy that this officer was. And this is the third tragedy that Milwaukee's had in something like 7 months. So I went down for the other two funerals. Our honor guard went down there. We'll send our honor guard down again. I'll go down to represent Green Bay. But just a tragic situation, a reminder of just how dangerous this job is.
And as you can see, the officers right now are wearing the black bands around the badges, and most police departments across the country do that to remember the fallen officer. Let's see here. So the Brown County Dispatch system, there's an update with this. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
Right. The computer-aided dispatch system, we switched over to a new CAD, they call it, system in December, and we had a lot of issues with it. You know, our officers were struggling out in the field trying to do just some simple things that we thought should be quite easy. We expressed our concerns, our officers expressed their concerns, and they basically determined yesterday that they were going to switch back to the old CAD system and kind of start over, see if they can reboot that other one or go with a different system. So we're very happy. A very courageous decision on the part of Cullen Pelletier. I think that was a right move.
All right, good stuff. Now, this is really cool. Give Big Green Bay is coming up next week on the 20th. 40 charities are involved. The Green Bay Police Department was selected. This is huge because you use the money for a lot of different things in the department.
We do. We're one of 40 selected. Green Bay Police Foundation is our own nonprofit that does stuff for the police department. One of the things we really focus on is youth programs. It pays for all our Explorer programs, pays for uniforms for the kids that we have, pays for their gun belts and their boots. It pays for their fees to go to different events. It's really great for us. It helps us with that community engagement, helps us really break down those barriers with the kids. Also helps for police training. Recently, they had a couple experts fly out, do some police training on implicit bias to make sure our officers are policing constitutionally, and it buys equipment for officers, as I think we'll hear about in a minute.
Yeah, so that's right. We're going to talk about that. Give Big Green Bay, again, coming up on the 20th, 40 organizations involved, and we're going to be talking with more of them throughout the week, so stay tuned to that. All right, time for the Honor Guard uniforms. Lieutenant Opperman, this is really cool, and we did a story on this yesterday you could have seen, but tell us about this because these uniforms that you have on now have been around for quite some time. It's been due for an upgrade.
Yeah, definitely due for an upgrade. I mean, we've had these, if you look at some of the pictures on the wall at our police department, you'll see generations back to the 60s. They're wearing very similar style uniforms. You'll see guys in 1983, I believe, photos where it's the exact duplicate of what we're wearing. So we really have no way to date the current actual uniform we're wearing because they've been passed down, they've been altered, they've been changed, and we can't alter or change them anymore.
Right. So, and the new ones are expected to be, you're expected to wear them by next year, correct?
Yeah, I'm hoping before then.
Yeah.
5 to 6 months is a optimistic bet, but we will see.
Yeah, and it's huge because, like you said, you're out there, I mean, with the Milwaukee officer who recently passed away, you really want to have a strong presence, and new uniforms really, brings that to light a little bit. So expect the Honor Guard in some new uniforms. Great update, a lot of stuff happening in Green Bay with the chief himself letting us know what's going on. So thank you both for being here this morning. And how was the commute when you came in?
You know, it was getting a little dangerous because the windshield kept getting iced up. I had to stop at one point, turn on the defroster, and get that windshield cleared off.
All right.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous, and Jordan will let you know what else is expected to come in just a little bit. Stay tuned.